Hey, how's it going, guys? It is Gospel here again, and I thought I would make a video about the different races of the Star Wars Galaxies Restoration server for the CU. Now, the races are somewhat impactful. A lot of the stats in the CU were for races where some were useful, some were not. Some were left over from pre-CU, and some of the stats even pre-CU don't exist anymore, like for actual pre-CU servers. So I thought I'd make one. Some races actually get new abilities that have 1 hour cooldowns, so I thought I would also talk about those. This way, anyone who's looking to make a tune and fully min-max to the max, you know, I don't think race will matter that much in PvP or whatever PvE, but it could matter a little bit. And if you're trying to min-max, then, you know, you're like me, you're probably trying to make something the most effective. So I thought I would go over the races and their different stats. As you can see, there's 10 different races. There was 8 originally in SWG, 2 brought over with JTL. I'll cover the human stats first. Humans get plus 10 to leadership and plus 15 artisan experimentation. Leadership is not a thing in the CU as far as the way a squad leader works, so it does nothing for squad leader. However, the plus 15 artisan experimentation is in fact pretty nice for human. Next up, we got Zebrak. This is the first race I'll be talking about that actually has an ability. Zebraks have defense versus dizzy 10, defense versus stun 10, defense versus intimidate 10, anti-shock 5, which is a completely broken stat. Doesn't work. I mean, there's nothing that shocks you except the CM ability, and I don't think it refers to that. I think it's a non-functioning stat that was removed early pre-CU. Equilibrium 1 and Vitalize 1. So Equilibrium, what it's supposed to do is even out your stats between your handbars. Currently, it just does 300 damage to your health and nothing else. So that's worthless. Vitalize, however, is a buff that Zebraks get. It's 5 minutes long. It gives them plus 20% HP of their max, like their unbuffed max. So it should be plus 600 HP at level 80 because you have 3k health. And then it also gives negative 20% regeneration to action and negative 20% regeneration to mind. So it slows your regeneration, but it's only a 5-minute buff, and it's got a 1 hour cooldown. The defense versus the states, I'm not sure if those are working or not. It does seem that people do resist states. However, I'm not sure if they've stacked state resist or not. So if it is working, cool. If not, then that kind of sucks. But, you know, it is what it is. Next up, we have Twilight. Twilex get plus 15 to dancing enhancement and plus 5 to music enhancement. This is not needed for entertainer. If you plan on going double mastery, it's really not. It's whatever. You just buff a little faster, I guess, whenever you're watching a Twilight entertainer. It's not necessary. Any race can give the full range of buffs and the full amount of points as entertainer. Twilight just buffs just a little bit faster. Next up, we have Rhodian. Rhodians get defense versus blind 15, one-handed melee accuracy 10, two-handed melee accuracy 10, and weapon assembly 10. So if you want to craft weapons, maybe you want to be a Rhodian. But if you also want to play melee, fencer, or swordsman, you also might want that. And if the defense versus blind works, that's pretty nifty too, because blind is a big debuff in the game. Negative 120 accuracy. So blind is very, very serious. Next, we got Bothan. So Bothan stats, pretty worthless at the moment. They give you plus 15 camouflage and cover plus 10. Cover, totally not a used stat anymore as far as I can tell. However, camouflage might have a use in the future when the Ranger revamp is actually implemented. I've noticed, like in the boxes for Ranger, that there's camouflage as a stat. So if you plan on going Ranger, perhaps Bothan is going to be your choice if you really want to min-max that. I don't know. It has to do with the, from the description, it has to do with going invisible. So it'll be contributing to the stealth stat, which makes sense, you know, because a lot of Bothan spies and all that stuff. So, you know, you can roleplay or whatever. Or you can just min-max like me. Anyway, Celeste. They get engine booster assembly plus 10. Those are two different stats. Engine assembly plus 10, and then booster assembly plus 10. They get weapon systems plus 10. So if you want to make a shipwright, maybe this is the race for you. Trapping 10 and creature harvesting 10. Trapping 10, currently, I don't think it serves a purpose at the moment. It's normally in Scout. However, the Ranger revamp is coming around sometime post-launch, and they use a lot of traps, so perhaps they will be using a trapping stat. I'm not exactly sure, so maybe Celestine's traps will be good for Ranger. I do not know. It is really hard to say. Creature harvesting 10 is another scout skill, so you'll just be able to harvest more meat, more bone, more hide from creatures, and that's Celestine. These things are so ugly. God, they just look horrible. Anyways, Authorian is next. Let's look at Authorian here. Authorians get defense versus stun and dizzy plus 10. They get creature taming plus 10, melee defense 10, chassis assembly plus 10, power systems plus 10, and advanced assembly plus 10. Those last three stats are all shipwright skills. Melee defense plus 10, that is useful. The higher your melee defense, the less damage you'll take from melee, coincidentally. Creature taming is not a thing yet, to my understanding. I do believe the devs want to put in babies for creatures, baby creatures that you can go tame out in the wild. However, that doesn't exist currently, so the creature taming stat is worthless. However, the defense versus stun and dizzy might be worth something to you, or if you want to do, you know, shipwright, you might also play Authorian. Besides the fact that they get 2 mouths, so if you're a really talkative person and you want an accurate representation of you, then you can do that. Or if you're a woman. Mon Calamari. Alertness 15, weapon assembly 10, structure assembly 10. Alertness is a stat that doesn't work. It's nothing. It's a stat that was pre-CU. It's like doesn't exist. Weapon assembly 10, structure assembly 10. So that's weaponsmith and architect. So if you plan on crafting again, maybe make a Mon Cal, or just make a Mon Cal because I think they look cool. I mean, look at this. They have these little arm spikes and big brain, 500 IQ. Admiral Akbar, it's a trap. Next up, we got Trandoshans. They get unarmed accuracy 10, unarmed speed 5, unarmed damage 15, melee defense 10, creature harvesting 10, and +1 regeneration. This is the race where literally everything they have is working and useful. So if you're wanting to play like a TK build, maybe go Trandoshan. The regeneration ability is strictly Trandoshan. It's a 1-hour cooldown, 5-minute duration. It gives you +20 health regen, or sorry, +20% health regeneration, and +20% action regeneration. So if you're wailing on someone and you're using a lot of action, maybe Trandoshan's for you. It helps you keep your DPS up. You know, you use that with the doctor buffs and the booster blue and the foods and that buff for 5 minutes, and maybe you can just wail on someone endlessly for 5 minutes. I'm not sure. I haven't tested the full extent of regeneration, but it does have an hour cooldown, so there's some balance to it, but it does seem to be like a really nice buff. And I am thinking that I myself will make a Trandoshan come launch because they are that cool. I mean, look at these guys. I mean, Bosk was a Trandoshan and he's a badass, so you know, that's cool. And then last but not the most oppressed race, I don't know, this is Wookiee Lives Matter. We've got the Wookiees. They have trapping 10, again, not a stat that works right now. Creature taming 10, rescue 10, another pre-CU skill that Rangers used to have, I believe, where they would take aggro from other people. However, it was useless because Ranger doesn't really tank anything. They have no real defenses. Warcry 10, another pre-CU stat that is not great. Trapping might come into existence, so maybe that'll be good for Wookiees and also creature taming. But they also get a buff called Wookiee Roar. Wookiee Roar is very interesting. It is a buff for 5 minutes. You get plus 40 accuracy, plus 40 melee damage, and I think it's just like straight up added 40 damage onto your attacks, and then negative 40 defense. Seems interesting to me. I'd like things that increase your accuracy. It's got a 1 hour cooldown, 5 minute duration. Could be okay. I might actually make a Wookiee. I should mention though, this is something I do want to mention. I almost forgot this. Is Wookiees cannot wear regular armor, I think. I think they can wear some regular armor. I think there is a set in game that will let them wear regular armor, but it looks ridiculous on them, or actually they look super tall or whatever. So you're going to have to probably use appearance items if you want the full stats from being a Wookiee. That's the problem with Wook life, is they weren't able to use normal armors. So when you're actually putting like exotic tapes in your armor and stuff like that, this is something to consider. I am fairly confident there's a set of armor that Wookiees can wear that will allow you to tape up. So there is that. Same thing with Trandoshans, actually. Trandoshans can actually wear gloves and wear boots. However, it is not visible. So Trandoshans, if you're worried about not getting tapes in your gloves or your boots, you will be able to get those things and you won't miss out on anything. And I don't think you'll miss out on anything as a Wookiee. You're just going to have to find that set of armor. I really don't know what it is. I don't have a Wookiee on my account. And I believe that wraps it all up for the races. As far as I'm concerned, Trandoshan Master Race. That's what I'm thinking. And I might actually, I'm actually probably going to make a Bothan and a Trandoshan because I really wanted to see the camouflage stat from Ranger working out. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. So hope you're having a good day, good night, wherever you're at. And I will catch you later. Peace.